With that, we'll go ahead and move on to the consent calendar. City Clerk.
All items are considered routine or implement an earlier council action and may be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion unless requested.
Is there anyone that wants to remove for a separate vote on any of these items? Councilmember Medina.
Like to pull item F, and just a comment and a reminder to the small businesses about item D. I think that would be appropriate.
Okay, just comments on both. Got it. Is there anything else?
I echo Councilmember Medina. Thank you.
Okay. Is there anything in addition? Seeing just those, that's D and F. Since it wasn't asked for pull, but just for update and or comment, we're going to go to D. That's extend the urgency ordinance establishing a temporary moratorium on evictions for non-payment of rent by small business commercial tenants directly affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. And city attorney or city manager?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, thank you very much. This is an extension of an urgency ordinance that the City Council previously readopted. And what this does is applies to put a moratorium and continue that moratorium in place until September 30, 2020 for all commercial evictions in the city of San Bruno, subject to certain terms and conditions in the ordinance, mainly applying to small businesses. So the City Council has seen this ordinance. This is, I believe, the third time, and this is the first extension of it. It was readopted previously, and this would be in effect until September of 2030 unless the governor issues an order that changes that. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Thank you. See nothing else. We'll go to Councilmember Mason.
Yeah, I just had a question and I guess it's a request. Would it be possible to have a webinar? I know the Entrepreneur Center is having, as part of the funding it received, a number of training sessions. And I think it might be helpful because I have had a number of questions from various small businesses to have a webinar around this particular moratorium and how it impacts our businesses in San Bruno.
Councilmember Mason, we will take that suggestion back. Our Community and Economic Development Director did record a webinar just today with the Chamber of Commerce. And so that is a part of the tools that they are putting in their toolkit, but we will pass along your suggestion.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move on to item F. Adopt a resolution appropriating an allocation of $30,000 for a soccer field feasibility study from the Park in Lieu Fund. City Manager?
Sure. I see the hand up by Councilmember Medina. Is that a hand about? Oh, good Lord. Okay. Sure.
No worries.
Members of the City Council, the item 5F is adopt a resolution allocating $30,000 for a soccer field feasibility study, funding from the Park in Lieu Fund that has approximately $3.1 million in it. And so this $30,000 would be used for a soccer feasibility study conducted by a firm called WRT. The community may remember that firm. It was the same firm that conducted the downtown streetscape plan. The scope of work calls for an analysis of San Bruno soccer field use needs, and this is all related to the potential reuse of the Crestmore High School site, a project that has been initiated by the San Mateo Union High School District on property that they own. I know the council and members of the public are aware that the fields for the former Crestmore High School site have been used for quite some time now by the soccer community for a variety of events. While the general plan requires that the athletic fields are maintained and in future reuse, there have been a number of conversations about exactly how that use will look in the future. And so what this soccer feasibility study will do is to analyze the future of soccer needs in San Bruno. It will work in collaboration with the soccer community and the soccer clubs that currently use Crestmore High School. They have actually already submitted their use needs and a summary of their pre-COVID-19 use of the fields, and so we have that data. And the analysis will also look at various other sites for the potential for new athletic fields, really just as an option, as the high school district currently has an RFP for developers, and we are anticipating that they may propose changes to the athletic fields. We want to be ready and have data available for the city council should those discussions happen. And the council knows that there is a city council subcommittee, a 2x2 committee comprised of Mayor Rico Medina and Council Member Linda Mason that have been meeting with the San Mateo Union High School District to talk about their plans, their goals, their objectives. No decisions have been made. And in fact, the need for this study arose out of the discussions with the high school district. It was initially envisioned that the high school district would pay for it. They declined, but in order to continue the work and provide the city council with the necessary information that they need, I am recommending that we move forward with the WRT study funded with $30,000 to look at and provide data for the city council for the eventual reuse of that site.
Any questions?
I have a follow-up question.
Yes, Councilman Medina.
So the use of the fields, will the analysis also look at the parking required for the participants attending and playing soccer or just recreating?
It is currently going to look at field usage. There are a number of development standards with regard to what can happen on that site, specifically with regard to parking for the fields. That is a question that I'm not prepared to answer right now, just because it requires sort of a detailed analysis of what the parking requirements will be for the site. And depending on the development envelope, that can change. But what I can say is, while that will not be a part of this study, your city staff and the community and economic development are fully capable to do that analysis and provide that data to the city council.
Thank you.
Councilmember Mason.
Yeah, I just wanted to say for the rest of the council that Mayor Medina and I have been meeting with the two members, as mentioned, from our city manager Grogan, and we do. Well, I can't speak for Mayor Medina, but I believe that this is needed to really ensure that we are protecting the interest of San Bruno, because as everyone knows, this property does not belong to us, and you know, it's going to be. This will be an interesting conversation moving forward, given that, and this is the other part of my comment, was that on August 4th, as Councilmember Medina sent to us via email, there is a meeting coming up from the San Mateo Union High School District where they will be discussing the RFP. I believe they're going to be discussing the actual proposals received. So for those members of the public who are watching, that meeting is coming up. This is moving quickly, and it's better that we get ahead of a decision being made with hopefully some options, as opposed to waiting, not having any options, and then not having the time to propose any options. So I am definitely in favor of this. Thank you. And I should also add a caveat that we may be able, and I don't actually remember because there's so many different sources we're looking at, I think, between the meeting and the staff report, but we are going to be asking for that to be reimbursed in the future. We don't know if it will be, but we are hoping that the $30,000 would be reimbursed. Thank you.
Councilmember Davis.
Has Park and Rec Commission been brought into this process? Are there any members representing that? I know as a Park and Rec Commission member, I want to say 8 years ago, I could be wrong, Crestmore, or the Siemens Union High School District, determined that is surplus property. They had a meeting about selling the property. It was a big uproar. I know we as Park and Rec Commission started talking about sites. One of the caveats we really talked about was not having a soccer field on land we don't own. You can spend millions of dollars putting in a brand new soccer field and you don't own it. And so I know some of the sites that were mentioned in that list were also brought up and then decided that that wasn't a good option and really look at city-owned property or property that could be owned by the city. So I would hate to, a lot of work that's already been put into it not be considered as well.
Sure. We'll make sure that the Park and Recreation Committee is consulted. One of they're very concerned about if there is soccer fields that are enhanced or built new on property that is currently not owned by the city of San Bruno. That topic has been mentioned, and it is certainly, I think, the intention of the two council members to make sure that are on the subcommittee to make sure that item is vetted. It has been the subject of many discussions. If there is new land, to have it acquired and or available in perpetuity through some agreement.
Thank you.
Yeah, and to what Council Member Mason said, yes, you can speak for me. Because in our mind, the answer was no. The answer was not right now. And this is in regards to the council member about the 30,000 reimbursement. They want to do it in a process down the path a little bit. I believe the council member and I believe that we as a council and the staff needs that information sooner, and we need to be able to provide information to them and to the council to make those type of decisions. And to Council Member Davis, yes, some of those things have been brought up and discussed, like we're here, we don't own it, but there is some provision within that property. But yes, to that. Is there anything else? Okay, if not, on the consent, no items were officially pulled because on item D, it requires a 4/5 vote. So as long as we have the unanimous, we don't have to worry about that. But do I have any action on consent?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion made and second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Davis,
Aye.
Councilmember Mason,
Aye.
Councilmember Medina,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Salazar,
Aye.
Mayor Medina.
Aye.
Motion
No.
carries.
Thank you.